and let's start talking about it. What does it bring? What does it trigger? This is part of our memory. It's in there. It's part of our stories. Let's talk up to grandma. Let's talk to grandpa. Let's talk to, aunts and uncles about what our foods mean, what they meant to them, what they still mean to us. And, we teach the classes and we teach our children. And it's hard because our palates have changed so much. It's so much easier to go grab a burger than go cook some quelitas. Because who's going to know how to go pick them? Who's going to know even if it's the right variety to pick? That's all part of the knowledge that sometimes we have lost because of all of these transformations to our land. And I can speak to this I think from north to south is the same. We've all confronted, this big problem. So when we talk about bringing food back to the table, we talk about, hey, let's talk about corn. What kind of corn dish can we bring? What does that tell us? Well, many of you may have tried pinoles, for example, the ground puff corn. Well, that's not just the meal. It has symbolic, and it has a language. It has a word in our language that to refer to it. But it was also sustenance when you were out in the war, when you were out in the mountains. So when you start bringing that food back to that table, you can talk about family history, which then talks about community history, which then talks about, a whole indigenous group, a whole nation history. And so as part of our programming, we want to revitalize that traditional knowledge, that traditional ecological knowledge, because at the end of the day, food is healing and food is power, and we have to bring back. So I think a lot of our children, we're trying to make changes, we're trying to innovate some of these ingredients, because sometimes cactus can be a little bit challenging to, for our kids to try to eat when there's pizza right down the way. So I think we are resilient. We're still here despite all of these changes and transformations to our land, to our bodies, to our mindsets. The knowledge is still there. It's in our hearts, it's in our minds. We just have to revitalize and bring it back. And we can do it one step at a time. I think all of you represent in some way those changes. You have local groups. You can do this on at a small scale that eventually, goes down the line. But for us, trying to bring back history through food has been a major impact, and it has been successful, especially with the young people, especially with our youth, especially if you give them that power to cook themselves and to go pick the food, to understand what it reconnect to the land, to reconnect to the food. It does wonders. Because somebody would not want to try it, and all of a sudden, hey, I did this, I created this dish. It makes a world of difference.